Lithuanian Foreign Minister Kęstutis Budrys speaking, who is joining me now. Thank you so much for your time. I know that you have been meeting with your European counterparts in Brussels, and we know now that this call is taking place between Putin and Trump tomorrow, which will centre around the dividing of certain assets. Of course, there is great concern about what will be agreed without Ukraine or members like yourself from Europe present. What are your expectations for how this will go?
Our expectations are that the ceasefire will start without any additional conditions, and that Putin will start it from the very beginning. With what is required from him is just to stop the military action and to stop the aggression right now and go with Ukraine to negotiations. That is our expectation, that he will tell this President Trump. On the other hand, what we already see is the additional requirements, additional conditions, and additional demands towards Ukraine, even before the ceasefire. And we don't have to allow ourselves in getting into a situation where the ceasefire will be mixed with the peace negotiations process. It will be presented as it is already the peace negotiations, and Putin is master in it. We've seen it not once already, even with Ukraine before the Minsk I and Minsk II agreement. So we have to be very cautious on it, and we have to push forward on Russia and to force them to negotiations table, because they are not showing any signs of their interest in it.
Are you saying then that you do not expect that President Trump will apply the necessary pressure on Putin during this phone call tomorrow to push for a 30-day peace deal or any other reasonable terms of peace?
United States have all the instruments and all the leverages in their hands. So they have to use it. And Europe is also in a position to assist in doing it. So we expect that in the case it is needed, they will be used, because it's not only Ukraine that has to go without any preconditions into the ceasefire. That's Russia, the aggressor, that has to do it. And that is why all the options has to be at the table, and the ceasefire is the time when we will decide, they will decide, and we together, Europe, United States and Ukraine, will decide together on the conditions of the peace. And we already know that those conditions for the peace must include Ukraine's sovereignty, full territorial integrity, and also security guarantees.
Yeah, territorial integrity, and yet we're already hearing from President Trump himself that they are talking about the issue of land, of power plants, of this being central to that conversation tomorrow. If the United States do not use, let's say, the carrots and sticks at their disposal with Russia in these negotiations, what are you bracing for, and what will this signify for European leaders in the months ahead?
We still have to see how the process will go on, and we understand that it's also Ukraine that has an agency in all this process, and it's up to them to decide whether the conditions are favorable or not for them. When we are talking about the peace negotiations, once again, not about the ceasefire, to show that there is a room for maneuver for aggressor. This is a very, very bad precedent, and we want to avoid this. We cannot provide any advantages to aggressor. We cannot provide any territory to aggressor, because it will be repeated, be it imperialist Russia or be it any other state. That's why all eyes are on the US right now, and all expectations, not only of Europe, but of all the other countries, are on US right now. So it's a very historical moment. How we'll proceed further? Because once again, as it was in your previous question, we have the leverages and we have the sticks, and we can build even the additional ones with frozen assets and with additional sanctions. That would be the historical mistake not to use them if it is needed.
Given that you are there in Brussels meeting with your European counterparts, President Zelensky said over the weekend once again that Europe must provide a peacekeeping force to provide security guarantees for Ukraine, which of course the US have not said they are willing to do. So far, publicly, only the United Kingdom and France have come out and said they're willing to put troops on the ground. Will Lithuania be part of any peacekeeping force moving forward? Are you committing to that?
We are at the table where the different formats and designs are discussed and negotiated. We understand that there is devil in the details, how it will be implemented, and we are part of these discussions. And I believe that Lithuanian flag will be among the others within the coalition of the willing, as troops on the ground in Ukraine will be only one element of the security guarantees, and there are additional elements. That's the long multi-year military and defense assistance to Ukraine. That's also EU membership of Ukraine and provision of the economic assistance for Ukraine to become a member, and many others. So we are open and we are participating and contributing in many of the future security guarantees that will be provided to Ukraine.
Okay, Kęstutis Budrys, we appreciate your time there from Brussels. Thanks very much.